Welcome back into the Glenview Community Ice Center here in Glenview, Illinois, where we've reached the final game of this weekend in Squirt playoff hockey. We just finished up the Squirt Prospects Red Tier 1, Red Tier 2 championship games. We had 11 games yesterday to determine who was advancing to today's championships. And now is the Squirt Minor Championship between the Vipers and the St. Louis Knights. Hello, everyone. This is Eric Willowhite. I'll be on the call along with my color commentator, Brandon Janeska, and on-camera Ernie Kraus. And Brandon, we talked about it just before we turned on the microphone here. All of the top two seeds made it to the championship here in minor play, and that's no different here, or in Squirt play, and that's no different here in Squirt Minor.
Yeah, on paper, that's how it's supposed to work out. You were the best team in the regular season. You should run the table and make it to the championship game, but obviously that's not always how that works out, but that has been the case for all three of them here today.
And kind of let's talk about how these two teams got here. For the Vipers, they ran the table. On Friday, they defeated the Chargers 6-3. And then the Ice Dogs and the Jets yesterday, 7-1 and 6-2 victories. And for the Knights, Friday night, they defeated the Leafs 5-0. Then on Saturday, took down the Hawks 5-2 and the Yellow Jackets 6-1. The Knights and the Vipers both putting up a 6th spot in their final game. And they kind of already knew they were going to the championship, or at least they were positioned that way. But they really solidified their position here. And again, we mentioned they were the top two teams in the division. The Vipers finishing with, where's our points? There we go, 53 points, 46 for the Knights. The goals against plus minus differential, 133 for the Vipers, 115 for the Knights. So these two teams know how to put the puck in the net, and they know how to keep it out of the net.
Yeah, over 160 goals for each of them, more like 170 on each side. So These are two offensive powerhouses going head-to-head in this one.
So they'll slug it out here. It's one game. Our last game in the Squirt Tier 2 went to overtime, sudden death overtime. The periods here in minor are 13-minute periods, so a little bit longer. And we're going to get ready, and we're going to go through our starters announcements and national anthem, and we'll let you listen in to that.
Welcome to the Glenview Ice Center for your Central States Championship Squirt Minor Game. Today's contest is between the St. Louis Knights and the Vipers. Announcing your St. Louis Knights, number 2, James Robinson. Number 4, Luke Range. Number 8, Meyer Sorandos. Number 10, Bodie Kemlagi. Number 11, Jack Cernko. Number 17, Henry Adams. Number 27, Augie Jones. Number 37, Kellen Hill. Number 63, Barrett Stanberry. Number 76, Ezra Casper. Number 77, Henry Brody. Number 87, Cooper Krumenacher. Number 95, Harrison Begley. Number 88, Brady Kluke. And number 99, Giuseppe G-Unit Palazzolo. The Knights are coached by Kylie Hill, John Roby, and Nick Sarandos. Give it up for your St. Louis Knights. Introducing your Vipers. Number 1, Cole Burson. Number 6, Grant Elling. Number 16, Michael Chiemrachuk. Number 17, Chef Vino. Number 19, Jonathan Sheehy. Number 21, Colin Rutz. Number 23, Nate Johnson. Number 27, Zender McGowan. Defending the net, Mason Baum, number 29. Number 33, Alec Grant. Number 34, Philip Salavrin. And number 47, Mooch Gerber. Coaching the Vipers, Steve Grant on the offensive door, Bill Johnson on the team, Coach Dan Yobama Fino.
Back in the broadcast booth, Eric Willowhite and Brandon Januska, Ernie Kraus on camera for us today. Welcome in and welcome back to the Central States Squirt Minor Championship game here on Stream Sports Midwest. So glad you could tune in wherever you're tuning in from. And we appreciate you supporting youth hockey. And again, these were the top 2 teams in Squirt Minor. The Vipers, number 1. Right behind them, the St. Louis Knights. We're about ready to get going. The Vipers are designated as the home team. They'll be in their home whites with black pants, black and orange trim. They'll be going left to right to start things off here in the first period. St. Louis Knights in their all black with white and red trim. They'll be going right to left. Your starting goaltender for the Vipers will be Mason Glom. And for the St. Louis Knights, to our right, it's Giuseppe Palazzolo.
Yeah, we saw Palazzolo yesterday in one of the games we called. Did a fine job facing a flurry of shots and kicking most of them aside.
Yeah, he was a rock in net there. And I imagine that's probably what we're going to see from both goaltenders today. And there's Mason Glom heading over to our left. We're a few seconds away from getting started. Again, 13-minute periods here in Squirt Minor. And we're underway here in Glenview Rink A. Also want to give a shout out to Katie Lacalo and Jimmy Wright for the job the Glenview staff has done here this weekend. They've been an A-plus organization and been great hosts, so we appreciate everything the Glenview staff has done and the rink staff here at the Glenview Community Ice Center as well. All right, now that we got all the housekeeping out of the way, let's get some hockey going here, Brandon. Vipers inside their own zone. Knights applying pressure behind the net and thrown over to the far wall. Trying to bring that puck up ice is Celavrides. But the Knights look to keep it in for the moment. Backhand attempt goes into the neutral zone. And then it's backhanded in, but short of center, actually short of clearing, was James Robison, so that'll be a neutral zone face-off along the far wall.
Yeah, a couple of Knights players were still trying to get out of the zone when that puck was put back in.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a good early sign for the Knights as they were in the attack zone. It is Kimbrachuk on the draw for the Vipers, and he wins possession for his squad. Puck is thrown to the neutral zone, however, and thrown back into Vipers territory. Backhanded out. Johnson tries to chip it ahead. That's taken by the Knights and dumped back inside the zone. Grant Elling will have to play it. Pass goes to the neutral zone, and skating up ice is Colin Rutz. Rutz will just chip it over to that far corner. The puck is going to be picked up by Augie Jones. Elling with a flip shot there from the near point, and then a cross-ice pass, and the shot goes through the paint into the near corner, so some early fireworks for the Vipers. And the puck is brought in off sides.
Yeah, most of the puck play was being kept to the perimeter. They finally had a look out in front and just couldn't get it on.
It was a nice job by Elling with the little flip shot there, keeping the puck in at that near point and then getting it on net. Well, I like how we went from one official in game one, and then we added a second and then three. So we're in the three official formation here for games 2 and 3.
Extra set of eyes always helps.
Yes. Puck goes into the Knight zone, trying to flip it off the near wall, but they were unsuccessful. Vipers looking to get that puck on net again, but the puck skirts past Cole Berzin and goes over to the far wall. Still playing it now is Lukey Gurgle. Knights bring it inside the zone. Kemlagi had it, lost it. Picked up by Berzin for the Vipers. Center ice pass, just sort of an area pass, trying to get it out there to McGowan.
Yeah, that allows the Vipers to make a change.
McGowan battling in that far corner and then kept in on that far wall by Celavrides. Shot, getting a pad on it. Oh, and then the face mask save on the backhanded rebound attempt from McGowan. Flip towards the net, does not get through. The Knights kind of build a wall in front of Palazzolo, and then they'll head the other way. Inside the zone goes Kellen Hill.
That was a nice job by Palazzolo coming outside the crease to make that last save, cutting down that angle.
We get another offsides against the Knights. 9:48 to go in the opening periods. We are scoreless. Vipers with the early edge and shots on goal, 3-1. Face-off just outside the Viper zone along the far wall. And winning that draw again is Kimbrachuk. Up pass to Johnson. He fires the shot. That one almost went off the handle there. of Palazzolo's goalie stick. Centering attempt between the circles. Shot goes high by Kimbrachuk, sailing over the head of Palazzolo. And behind the net, the Vipers are working. Johnson coming out from the back wall, and the puck goes from the crease. That was a shovel attempt there from Celavrides.
That previous chance for Kimbrachuk was the first real clear open shooting lane that we've seen. A lot of them clogged.
A lot of traffic trying to get through, as you would expect. And now the referee had their arm up as if he was getting ready to call like a frozen puck, but it never happened. We had one yesterday, or maybe it was a delayed penalty now. Yes, a roughing call. So a roughing call going against the Knights, and it's James Robison who's going to head to the box. So first power play goes to the Vipers.
Yeah, we've seen some costly penalties in the first two championship games that we've called, so this is a big moment, even in the early going.
Faceoff will be to the right of Giuseppe Palazzolo. Vipers win the draw. Coming off the far wall. Far circle. Shot! And absorbing that and covering up is Palazzolo. Is coming off that far wall was Luki Gurgel. Gurgel wins the draw, gets it back to the far point, and Shivi. Shivi tries to dump it down low, but the Knights get it into the neutral zone. That's going to have to played by Shep Fina. Fina gets through a defender. Cross-ice pass tipped at the last minute. That was actually Colin Rutz who was in on the play, and his pass just tipped away at the last minute. Otherwise, that could have been a nice give and go there for the Vipers.
Yeah, Harry Adams got the stick on it.
Hill backhands it. That's going to go into the Vipers bench, so we'll have a neutral zone draw. I'm going to bring it right back to the center ice logo. 8:04, no score. The Squirt Minor Championship game here in Glenview. Johnson. And now Kimbrachuk carries it in. Kimbrachuk gets it back, flipped on net, and Palazzolo holds on. 34 seconds remaining on the Vipers' power play. And I think that's what you're going to see a lot from Giuseppe Palazzolo. If there's any hint of any sort of mounting threat from the Vipers, he's going to just hold on to that and live to fight another day.
Yeah, just take your chances on the face-off off to the side.
Face-off to the right again of Palazzolo. It's Kimbrachuk. And the Vipers win again. I think Kimbrachuk is undefeated on draws so far. I think he's like 4-0. He gets the puck back between the circles, shoots, and he scores. He fires it in to the right corner. And Kimbrachuk gets the first goal on the power play. The Vipers lead 1-0.
Yeah, that's what happens, like you said, winning the draw. The win on the faceoff by Kimbrachuk, that sets up that whole sequence right there, able to find an opening and go upper 90.
That was a tough one for Palazzolo to defend there. A lot of time and space for Kimbrachuk on that one. 1-0 lead for the Vipers. They strike first here in this Squirt Minor Championship game. But as we saw in those first two games, that first goal doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, it just puts you ahead for now.
Right. This could be a 2-on-1 here for the Knights. Hill skating in. Has Robeson to his left. Hill puts the puck on net. Rebound kicked out there from Glom, and Robeson kind of collided with Glom, but no rebound shot was put on net. Now the puck dumped back into the Vipers zone. Hill with a good job getting that puck, stayed down low, forcing Glom to make the save. Rebound was there, but Robeson just couldn't corral that. Now the Vipers look to get it out, kept in. Nice job there, keeping it in was Barrett Stanberry. Puck goes over to the far wall. That's pulled out of there. Severides had it. Now, skating in hard, there's a collision. Puck dug out in that far corner. Knights trying to work their way up on the near wall, and puck comes between the circles. That's taken away. Skating up ice now is Harrison Begley. Begley dumps it in and chases. Goes behind the net. Vipers will play it on the near wall. Back to the far corner. Colin Rutz. And now up ice to Johnson. Nathan Johnson carries it in, top of the near circle. That one was easily tracked by Giuseppe Palazzolo, and he gloves it and holds on for the faceoff. Shots now 6-2 in favor of the Vipers.
Nice move by Johnson just to work that shooting chance and make it available.
Yeah, that's one thing we're seeing there. They're pretty quick in transition so far and putting a lot of pressure in the early going on the Knights. Faceoff now to the left of Palazzolo. Puck goes along the near wall. Now to the near corner. Spin around, clear attempt is stuck along the walls as the Knights are having a little difficulty exiting the zone. Rutz is able to peel that puck off that near wall, and then his follow-up attempt goes into the far corner. Now it's back to the near corner again. Knights trying to work at the center, they do, but Kimbrachuk is there, and immediately with that long reach, able to grab the puck when he loses the handle. Inside the zone now is Begley. Begley circles, near point, flip shot, that one never gets through. Good idea, however, from Jack Cernko. Johnson dumps it in and looks to head for a change, but not before doing a spinorama there. He was like a top. Vipers trying to center. Far circle now between the circles. Backhand attempt by McGowan goes wide, just wide of that right post. Fina tries to put it back down. Well, the Vipers are flying all over the ice here. I think that speed has really caught the Knights off guard a little bit, and they're on their heels.
Yeah, it definitely has, and also just the work being done by the Vipers defensively, keeping things to the perimeter to set up this transition.
Shot by McGowan. That one blocker to side over to the far wall. Centering between the circles, that misses connections, goes back to the near wall. But Berzin had it, lost it. Now it's poked out to center. The quick recovery there by Fina, and immediately the Vipers come back in. McGowan centering, trying to get it to Gurgle, but it's ejected from the zone. Now a foot race. Hill trying to win that one, but the Vipers win the speed battle again. Vipers trying to carry forward. Knights move it up ice. Robinson. Kimbrachuk takes it for the Vipers. Had it knocked away at the last minute there by Ezra Casper, but it's still inside the Knights zone for the moment. Referee has the arm up, and we are going to get a tripping call. I think it's on Kimbrachuk. He did the palms up there as he's being escorted to the penitentiary there, the ice version. First power play for the Knights.
Yeah, we saw the power play goal, the game's lone goal right now. It was Kimbrachuk who scored it. Now in the box, see if the Knights can take advantage.
Well, the other thing with Kimbrachuk going to the box is he's their best faceoff person too, so we'll see. And again, the Knights win the first draw on the power play. Puck flipped down. That was knocked down with a high stick, but no call. Cerna throwing it over to the near wall. Chip to the side of the net. And now the Vipers look to move it outside the zone. They will. They'll dump it in. Knights will have to chase. Outside to the neutral zone. Shep Fina backhands it. intercepted by the Knights. Here's Hill, one person to beat. Hill, and he overskated for a moment, then the backhander goes wide.
Just that slight mishandle disrupted the timing.
Salavrides skating in, shorthanded backhand. It hugged the goal line and then was thrown out of there. Vipers keep it in, shorthanded. Fina. Slapper goes wide right. 27 seconds on the Knights power play, but they're on the defense here. Shorthanded attempts here. Gurgle with the shot. That one doesn't get through. Knights trying to just clear it out outside their zone. Eventually it gets out the center. Good penalty kill here for the Vipers. Knights throw it to center. Penalty is now over as the Vipers go in offsides. Minute 49 remaining in the opening frame. Actually, there's only 1 second left on the Kimbrachuk penalty.
And you mentioned the importance of losing one of your top face-off men. It was the Knights who won that initial draw, but once the Vipers got it out of the zone, they haven't gone back in.
Right. Yeah, again, their speed and quickness to get on the puck, that kind of negated any effect of having multiple draws on the face-off because the Knights just weren't in the zone after the initial face-off. Penalties over, both teams back at full strength. We're down to a minute and a half in the opening period. Shots favor the Vipers 9-3. Johnson will carry the mail inside. Cross-ice pass that's picked off by Kimlagi. We could have a break here. That one was set up. Augie Jones probably should have just carried it up ice. He shoveled it ahead forward. Now Kimlagi with a shot goes wide of the left post. But I think Augie Jones would have been better served to just carry forward.
One of the first true mistakes by the Vipers, but the Knights couldn't cash in and take advantage.
Now the puck goes behind the net. Under a minute to play, 50 seconds here in the opening period. 1-0 lead for the Vipers. Puck is thrown to the far wall, carried in by the Knights. Shot hits the side of the net, and it gets immediately back to Casper. Then it's thrown back over to the near wall. Unable to keep it in are the Knights. It'll go back inside their territory, but that'll be an icing call against the Vipers. So here you go. 28 seconds remaining in the opening period. You're going to have an offensive zone face-off. And it is not Kimbrachuk in the dot for the Vipers. It is McGowan. No, 47, Gurgle.
And Kellen Hill on the other end for the Knights.
Hill wins the draw, but unable to do anything with it are the Knights, and now McGowan carries it up ice. Puck is loose. That's picked up by the Knights. They'll throw it off the near wall. Out to the neutral zone. 9 seconds remaining. Shot and a save made. Good job there by Palazzolo.
And another one of those quick transitions for the Vipers, able to get a good look in on Palazzolo, and as you said, he's been doing it most of the time. Just cover it up and draw the face-off.
3.8 seconds remaining. They're going to say they moved early, so they're going to redo this one. To the right of Palazzolo. Draw goes over to the far point, and time will wind down here in the opening period. It was Michael Kimbrachuk getting the power play goal for the Vipers, and then the Vipers killing off a Knights power play. And we stand 1-0 as we head to the second period. This is Squirt Minor Playoff Hockey on Stream Sports Midwest. Back in Glenview, the Vipers with the early 1-0 lead over the Knights here in the Squirt Minor Championship. And second period action about to get underway. The Knights will go left to right here in period 2. The Vipers right to left. No changes in goal. Giuseppe Palazzolo to our left. And to our right is Mason Glom.
In that first period, we saw a lot of clogged shooting lanes for the Knights. Vipers able to really get bodies out in front.
Yeah, they're going to have to work to get pucks on net. Cross-ice pass, that missed connection for the Vipers. They're immediately inside the Knight zone. Oh, between the circles, it's Kimberchuk again. He scores, same spot. That one an even strength goal. And Michael Kimberchuk puts the Vipers up 2-0 early, only 45 seconds into period 2.
Yeah, so just talked about how the Knights aren't having clear looks out in front. Well, Kimberchuk found himself all alone out in front.
But again, it's the quickness of the Vipers to get on any 50-50 puck, and they're winning those battles right now. The Knights are really going to have to buckle down. Here's Gurgle. Gurgle inside the zone. Flip shot, and Palazzolo absorbs that and covers up, holds on for the faceoff. But you get just on that one, Gurgle with a burst of speed to be able to get a shot. Tougher angle, but getting an unobstructed shot nonetheless. Dug off the wall. McGowan fans on the shot attempt. And it's kept in by Rutz. Thrown over to Robinson. James Robinson will carry the puck outside the zone, has a clear lane, and then dumps it down low. The Knights will have to chase. Puck goes to the side of the net. Flip down low by Sarandos. Now Gurgle pushing the puck up along the near wall, trying to get it outside the zone. It's thrown back down by the Knights. Play staying in that near corner for now. Then thrown back up ice. And that one whistled wide there by Sarandos. It's like the first sustained zone time for the Knights. Looking to get some pucks on net. That one never gets through, however, it's deflected over to the far corner by Sheevy. Sarandos pinching in from that near point. Takes down a Vipers player, and then he got whacked with the stick for his efforts. We play on. There's McGowan, stick handling. Flips it on net, that one goes wide. And then over to Kimlagi on the far wall. And puck skitters out to the neutral zone, rolls into Vipers territory. Grant Elling will track it down for the Vipers. Flips it to the near wall.
And on that last offensive push from the Knights previously, they were all kind of spread out around the perimeter, nobody in the middle.
Blocker save on the shot by Johnson from Palazzolo. Now Elling backhands it down to the far wall and kept in by Kimberchuk. And now it's thrown back out to the neutral zone. Kimberchuk sweeps it inside the zone. Johnson fires, paddled away by Palazzolo. Kimberchuk trying to keep it in. 3 players scrum. Now 4 players. Vipers peel it away. Johnson between the circles had it knocked away. Kimberchuk tries to get it back. And the Knights and Kimlagi near wall. Shovels it ahead, but going to get there first is Cole Berzin. Berzin skating up ice. Overskates the puck and then has to drop it back to Grant. Puck brought in off sides by the Knights. The official was right on the line on that one. We haven't had any of those offsides controversies we had during some of the games yesterday. There were some missed offsides, let's just say.
Certainly were. You do have that extra official here in the championship game. That definitely helps. If you miss one, you know the fans will let you know.
Yeah, they will. There are about 100 officials in the stands. And let's see. Here a whistle. Looks like we're getting another penalty, and it's a Knights penalty. And I think it's a hit from behind.
I think that's Sarandos who was sent off.
That is correct. Myers Sarandos to the box. Power play time for the Vipers. Face off to the right of Giuseppe Palazzolo. Sheevy pinching in from the near point, trying to stick handle, had the puck knocked off. Puck goes between the circles. Hill trying to muscle that puck outside the zone, and the Knights are eventually able to do that. Shep Fina spinning around at the red line. Fina, this could be a 3-on-2 for the Viper, 4-on-2. Fina taking it wide, shooting, and a save made by Palazzolo. Back by Hill. Try to get it outside the zone. Swept in and kept in by McGowan. And now it's Celavrides. Behind the net, had the puck taken away. Comes up along the near wall where Sheevy pinches in again and throws it towards the net in the general direction. Sheevy swings around and throws it along that near wall once more. Celavrides now in on the action. Good zone time here. And that puck went to the crease and had to be played by Palazzolo. 24 seconds on the power play for the Vipers. Puck kept in. This could be a 2-on-1 for the Vipers. Over to Gurgle. Gurgle, a wide open side on the right. Just at the last minute, Palazzolo kind of closed the gate there.
Yeah, able to get a little shoulder save for Palazzolo.
Yeah, that right side was just wide open. It may be being baited a little bit too. You never know. Goalies can do that.
Yeah, if you feel strong moving to your left like Palazzolo did right there, that's certainly something you could do.
Come out, cut down that angle. 5 seconds remaining on the Vipers power play. There's a 2-0 Vipers lead here with 7:44 to go in the second. Both goals by Michael Kimbrichuk. Power play goal in the first period. And an even strength goal early in the second. Do we get a timeout call?
We do, an early timeout here.
Yeah.
Knights will just try to regroup and figure out a way to get some pressure, being outshot 15-4, trailing by 2.
Did they, trying to refresh my memory, did they call an early timeout yesterday? I don't know if I'm confused. I mean, we did 11 games.
Yeah,
so.
I'm trying to remember if it was them. There was certainly a game where there was a really early timeout called.
Really early timeout, yeah. Yeah, but very demonstrative over there. Knights coach just trying to get them to lock in. Probably not seeing the best effort from this Knights squad right now, and trying to get them to lock in. They don't want to go down any more than they are right now to this talented Vipers team.
Yeah, and a big thing right now, kill off this final 5 seconds and then try to push ahead. But when they've been on offense, they're really spread out. And I think the speed of the Vipers is part of the reason. They're hanging back toward the blue line just in case they have to retreat. Yep. And that's preventing bodies out in front of the net and those good opportunities.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's been noticeable. All right, face off to the left of Palazzolo. Kimbrichuk wins the draw. What new? Spinning around Johnson, dumps it into that far corner. Oh, through the crease. Kimbrichuk, I think he was trying to get it to Johnson over on the right side. And now the clear attempt kept in. That was Rutz with the keeper at the far point, and then the puck escapes the zone. Both teams back at full strength. That one's going to go down for icing. We'll bring it back inside the Knight zone with 7:16 to play in period 2. 2-0 lead for the Vipers in this Squirt Minor Championship game. It's our last of 14 games we've done here, 11 yesterday. This is the last of 3 today, then the championship games. We've had squads working championship games and playoff games in West Dundee this weekend, as well as in Darien. Brandon and I were in Darien last weekend for some bantam action as that one comes on Palazzolo, and he covers up.
Yeah, just trying to get you guys the playoff coverage any way we can.
Yeah.
Traveling all around for it.
Yeah, multiple games at each site too, so probably about the same, about 14 games a weekend on average between all the sites. 3 sites last week and 3 sites this weekend. Kept inside the zone, Gurgle. Put it at the feet of McGowan. I guess the skates, or the feet, they're the same. Here is Begley trying to carry it in, and then it's spun back in by Cernko. Thrown off the near wall. Vipers trying to carry it out, unable to. Begley trying to knock it down low. He does. They'll go into that mystery corner over there where we have a little trouble seeing on both near corners here, both the camera and the broadcasters. We just trust that at some point the puck will come out. Puck thrown on net. I guess that'll get credit for a shot on goal there as Kimlagi throws it on to Glom. Glom hasn't been tested that much. That was only well, they still have it at 4 shots on goal, but we haven't had to call his name much.
No, we haven't, and sometimes that's advantageous for the team
Right.
that hasn't had as many shots, because then you do get the opportunity and maybe you catch them off guard.
Yeah, and again, that's not a bad idea by Kimlagi. Heading off for a change anyways, hey, just throw it on net, see what happens. And you get an offensive zone draw nonetheless. Puck dumped down low. Spinning around down there is Casper. He's looking for an outlet. A lot of traffic, and it's chipped in, and they score. That is Augie Jones. And Jones gets the first goal for the Knights. And it's 2-1. So Kemlagi's shot before heading off for a change, throwing it on net, forcing Glom to make a save, and then you get an offensive zone faceoff, you win the draw, and you get a shot, and you get a goal.
Yeah, and that's the key right there. The Knights haven't won a lot of draws in this one. They finally do, and they take advantage of it.
Puck dumped in by the Knights. Now let's see if the Knights can gain some momentum with that and kind of work to put the Vipers on their heels. It's been the other way around mostly until this last couple shifts for the Knights. Knights keep it in. That one ping-ponged around before finally coming down on the near wall. Kept in by the Knights. Near corner. Thrown over to the far side by Shivi. And Kemlagi keeps it in. Centering attempt gets deflected back over to the backboards, and Fina will play it. Near wall. Vipers come out with it. Little momentum here for Fina. Crosses the line. Fina changes direction, goes right. He was trying to go right and shoot left, but there were too many sticks and traffic in there for him to even get a shot off.
Yeah, it was Harry Adams who actually poked it away.
That's the second time you've called Adams on a nice couple defensive plays. But now, shot, score! Johnson was left wide open. Nathan Johnson at that far circle, and he buried it past Palazzolo. And it's a 3-1 Vipers lead.
Yeah, unfortunately, that time it was Harry Adams. I think that lost track of where Johnson was, had made the poke check, so stepped forward, and then just lost Johnson drifting outside all alone.
So the Vipers get that goal immediately back. And they go back up by 2 with 4:48 to go in the second period of this Squirt Minor Championship game here on Stream Sports Midwest. Central State's playoff and championship coverage all day long here, or as long as the championship games go on Stream Sports Midwest. Play along the near wall. Dug out. That puck was thrown towards the crease by Casper. Now it goes back over to the near wall. And that one covered up by Glom.
Yeah, even though it's back to a 2-goal game because of that last Vipers tally, the Knights are starting to sustain some pressure finally.
Yeah, they needed that too. And you talk about that timeout that was called by the Knights. That definitely had some effect because they looked to be playing on much firmer footing here in the second period after that timeout.
Yeah, maybe the coaching staff just saw something. There may have been a minor correction, but whatever it was, it worked.
Here's Fina in the far corner. He spins to avoid traffic and throws it over to Gurgle. Kept in. That shot sails over the crease, and Glom back to the far wall where McGowan tries to play it. Unable to. Dump back down low where Shivi throws it to Celavrides. And then thrown on to Glom, and Glom will hold on for the faceoff. 3:43 to go in period 2. 3-1 Vipers. Faceoff will be to the left of Mason Glom.
Both teams will make full 5-man changes.
Fresh legs out there as you get later into period 2 and the longer change.
Yeah, take advantage of the whistle when you can.
Draw one by the Knights. Dumped down low by Stanberry, but not low enough as it comes back outside the zone. Stanberry plays it again, loses the handle, but Cernko is able to push it ahead to Hill. Hill on that far wall. He's 2-on-1 battle there. He's the one, but gets it over to Stanberry. Throws it towards the net, doesn't get there. Behind the net is Begley. Centered between the Cernko. Wasn't able to get a stick on it. And now Burzin pushes it the other way. Stanberry getting in the middle of that one, but Burzin got it back for the Vipers momentarily, and now Elling will chase it inside the Vipers zone. Back up high to Burzin. Burzin in the neutral zone. Cross center ice, will dump it in and head for a change. Swung back over to the far wall. Trying to chip it out is Robinson. They do. That one is not going to go far enough for icing. Fina will have to play it for the Vipers. Cuts in front of Glom and now heads behind the net. And now is going to do it the other way. Fina along the near wall. Eludes a couple defenders. Gets it into the zone for the moment. And we're going to get a penalty. A holding call. It looks like Sarandos is going off for a second time.
Yeah, Fina, as you were saying, had a step, was just getting around those defensemen, and at the last moment, in order to prevent a breakaway and him squirting through, just that hold.
Yeah. That's the second time we've seen Fina on the rush from that back end. It'll be Gurgle on the draw for the Vipers. Shivi directly behind. And then Fina on the right side. Vipers win possession. Shivi tries to throw it down low, but the Knights are able to clear it to center. Rutz trying to play it. Knights had it for a moment. Now McGowan. McGowan skating after it. Inside the zone, McGowan has Rutz to his left. Shoot, scores! Oh, wow, McGowan hit the backboards hard in the middle of celebrating. I think he's all right, but he fired that one past Palazzolo.
Yeah, was coming in with a head full of steam and just couldn't hit the brakes fast enough.
He was excited he got that goal, and you can see those goals are going top shelf by Palazzolo. And it's a 4-1 lead here for the Vipers with 1:54 to go in period 2 of this Squirt Minor Championship game. There's a 1-goal lead, 1-0 lead for the Vipers after one. A power play goal by Kimbrachuk, and then early in the second period, Kimberchuk got a even strength goal.
That touched a player who is still going off for a change, so 6 men on the ice.
And it looks like they're going to call it here.
Knights frustrated with the decision.
Well, heading to the box to serve the penalty will be nobody? Somebody.
Somebody needs to.
Yeah.
Not sure who they'll send.
Referee choice. The 87, that is Krumenacker. Will take the seat in the penalty box. Another power play for the Vipers. Looking to tack on.
Take up most of the remaining time in this second period.
Shoveled towards the net, doesn't get there. Cross-ice pass misses connection with McGowan. Johnson shoots. That one got deflected behind the net. Stanberry trying to get it out. Kept in by Elling. Elling, top of the far circle. Oh, that one deflected down. And Palazzolo did a nice job of absorbing that one, tracking it, and then not allowing a rebound. Minute three on the game clock. Minute 3 on the power play for the Vipers.
Nice job by Palazzolo careening the short hop. It hit the ice right in front of him after, as you said, it was deflected down.
Yeah, those can be tricky. Cernko pushes it out to the neutral zone. And now Fina goes down, nothing doing there. Stanberry flips it towards the net, and we have an arm raised, and it's going to be a penalty on the Vipers. So that'll negate the remaining 44 seconds on the Vipers power play. And heading to the box will be Johnson. Slashing call against Nathan Johnson. So you got a goal and a slashing call.
And actually, I think Johnson came out of the box. Initially, it was Johnson who walked in.
Oh.
Then they sent him back out, and
it's 16. It's Kimbrachuk.
Kimbrachuk who goes in.
That's his second time in the box. Maybe Johnson was trying to fall on the sword for Kimbrachuk.
Possibility, yeah.
Here's Gergel, top of the near circle, tried to pass it and fanned on it. Even strength now for the next 28 seconds. The final 28 seconds of period 2. Oh, we're going to get another penalty. This one's on the Vipers as they touch up. So now going to the box is McGowan.
Penalty box is getting a little crowded in this last 90 seconds of the second period.
A roughing call on McGowan. So it'll be a 18-second 4-on-3 for the Knights. Face-off will come inside the Vipers zone.
And then after that 18 seconds, they'll have some 5-on-3 action to begin the third period.
Right. Draw. Comes out to the neutral zone. Gergel pushed that one ahead. Nice job. Skating inside the zone is Hill. Loses the handle momentarily, but picked up by Cernko. Knights can't keep it inside the zone. Gergel, look at that speed of Gergel. Killing off the final 18 seconds of the second period. So we'll head to the third. The Vipers with a commanding 4-1 lead. This is the Squirt Minor Championship game right here on Stream Sports Midwest. All right, back in Glenview, heading into the third period of this Squirt Minor Championship game between the Vipers and the Knights. The Vipers with a 4-1 lead. Pair of goals by Michael Kimberchuk. Solo tallies from Nathan Johnson, Xander McGowan. Lone goal for the Knights coming from Augie Jones. That cut the deficit to 2-1 at one point. But now it's 4-1.
And you have 40 seconds of 5-on-3 action, so a big opportunity for the Knights.
That's going to be a penalty on the Knights. That was a holding call or a hook. Yeah, they're going to call a hook, so.
Right after I say it, there goes the 5-on-3.
And Sarandos has the penalty hat trick now, his third trip to the box. And I was looking at the stat sheets there. There's no surprise. These two teams were 2 and 3 in terms of penalty minutes in Squirt Minor. The Hawks led with 222, followed by the Knights with 176, and then the Vipers with 154. So Vipers 2, or Knights 2, and Vipers 3 in penalty minutes, and that's kind of what we've been seeing here.
Yeah, especially late in that second period, 3 penalties called in the final 90 seconds, and then another one just 13 seconds into the third.
So it's still a 5-on-4. Puck flipped on net by the Knights, and that one is absorbed by Glom. 5-on-4 for. Is it 5-on-4? 4 and 3.
Yeah,
4 on 3.
4 on 3 rather.
4
yeah,
on
for
3
14
for the next
seconds.
14 seconds for the Knights. And then it'll be even strength for 26 seconds. 4-on-4. That one, yeah, they're going to say they did not keep in. That one was borderline, but you could go either way. That puck will come outside the zone. Neutral zone draw. Ford Hyde trying to carry the mail inside the Viper zone, does. 26 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey now. Fina goes back to the far wall. Fina trying to carry the puck up ice. Now Kimbrichuk pushing it ahead. Gets it to Gurgle. Gurgle, far circle, spinning. Looking for a centering opportunity. Finds Kimbrichuk over on the near wall. Back to Kimbrichuk, top of the near circle. Down low is Gurgle. Oh, they set that one up nice, and it went off the skate of a Knights player, but did not deflect into the net. That was just some pinpoint passing and working by the Vipers. Going far side, near side, back and forth to Kimbrichuk, and then Gurgle just matriculated to the net. And we're going to get another penalty?
Yes, we will. This one against the Knights.
They're opening the door in the Knights penalty box. There's only 6 seconds remaining on the initial penalty.
Need to find a way to stay out of the box chasing 3 goals.
Yeah. So Kemlagi is going to the box. 5-on-3 for 6 seconds for the Vipers. It'll be Kimbrichuk on the draw to the right of Giuseppe Palazzolo. Kimbrichuk won the draw, but then the shot from the far point went off the mask of Augie Jones. He carries it into the zone. 5-on-4 time. Shot from the near wall. Absorbed by Glom. Glom did a nice job. It was in the net, but just outside enough to keep that puck from crossing the goal line.
Yeah, just hugging that near post right up against it.
Yeah. But a defense or an offensive zone draw for the Knights here. Keeping that puck away from Palazzolo to our right. Johnson, Nathan Johnson carrying it forward for the Vipers. Johnson waiting, shooting, and Palazzolo gloves it and holds on with Kimbrichuk lurking around the crease.
And once again, that was just Nate Johnson showing off the speed.
Yeah.
Once he decided to turn on the afterburners and accelerate, he got around the defenseman.
Yeah, they have a lot of high-octane players when it comes to pushing the pace. Kimberchuk pushes the puck forward as Rutz was in the neighborhood. Now Johnson tips it back to the near point. Rutz tries to keep it in, unable to. Holding on to Hill, however, but no call. And now going the other way was Grant. Grant got knocked down. Kimberchuk dumps it in and heads for a change. Knights throw it to the near wall. Now out to center. Picked off by Gergel. Gergel gets it through a defender. It rolls on to Palazzolo, however, and covers up before Gergel can get there. With 10:21 to go. Still 30 seconds on the power play for the Vipers.
And trailing 3 goals, the Knights were trying to push ahead, even being a man down, and it nearly cost them.
Yeah.
Gergel tried to counter and go back the other way.
I mean, I get it, because a 3-goal deficit here with only 1 period to play. You know, you want to push the pace a little bit, take some chances, but yeah, it's risk-reward, right? Spinning around is McGowan, centering between the circles to Gergel. That puck is swatted away, however, by Harry Adams. Cross-ice pass making its way over to Augie Jones. But getting there first is Fina. Fina splits a pair of defenders, has some space. Fina carrying the mail inside the zone, has a player to his right. That's where it goes, but too soft as McGowan was waiting. A little harder pass, and McGowan would have been wide open.
Penalty expires. Both teams now back at full strength.
21-8 is the shots on goal advantage for the Vipers. 4-1 on the big board for the Vipers. Cernko trying to plow through. Fina got in the way. That's going to be an interference call, I believe. Or no, offsides. Yep, Fina's going to the box. It should be interference, right? Yeah. A holding call, okay. Either way, you get it for holding. Discussion there as Fina
trying to plead his case.
Yeah.
I think saying, hey, I was being tugged on too.
So power play now for the Knights, who could really use a goal here to cut their deficit in half. 9:22 to go in the third period. They trail 4-1 in this Squirt Minor Championship game.
Yeah, you really need to start taking advantage of some of these power play opportunities if you're the Knights. A lot of ground to make up.
Blom keeps coming back and forth. He was really up high on his crease, but then he kind of got to the edge of the paint. Gergel overskates it. Knights and Cernko looking to go the other way. Cernko carries it in. Oh, but Hill, I think, was just forced off sides by his own player. He was kind of in no man's land there.
Yeah, slight collision. The puck ended up in between the two men, and the wrong one entered the zone first.
The Hill on the draw against Gergel. Knights win the draw, throw it in the zone, but Elling immediately clears. Over to Celavrides. Celavrides dumped it in, and now he'll head after it over in that far corner, trying to center. Oh, wow! 2 players hit hard against that left post. I think it's Celavrides who got rocked and then is grabbing the back of its head a little bit. And then the Knights player that went down, that is James Robinson. So both players heading to the bench, but man, that was, you could hear that. That net held on by those Marsh posts.
Yeah,
marsh pegs.
a legal play. That was a good job, just using your body, try to get that positioning. Both players trying to work their way toward the net and just ended up colliding with the goal.
So we'll have a neutral zone draw. 55 seconds remaining on the power play for the Knights. Hopefully both those players will get back on the ice here after getting some recoup time on the bench. Knights push it out to center. It rolls into Vipers territory. That's going to be an icing call against the Knights. They'll bring the draw back to our right. 42 seconds remaining on the Knights power play, but face-off is inside their zone. Kimbrachuk and Augie Jones.
Some last-minute advice along the bench. Ref saying, hey, you used your timeout. Let's get this going.
Flip toward the net right between the circles. Johnson not able to get a shot off there. As a little push from behind. Nice defensive play by Kemlagi.
Yeah, Johnson ended up falling right on top of the puck.
Now Jones throws it behind the net. Cernko is there, trying to center to Kemlagi between the circles. Shot by Jones, never gets through. And out to the neutral zone the puck comes. 12 seconds on the power play for the Knights, thrown back into Vipers territory. That one was deflected, no icing. And now up ice, puck deflected off the back of a skate, then chipped forward by Sheevy.
Both teams now back to 5-a-side.
7:45 to go in the period, third period. 4-1 lead for the Vipers. Vipers working behind the net. Rolls on to Palazzolo. Then it's ejected by the far point out to the neutral zone. It's going to be played by Elliot Grant. Grant loses the handle. Hill shoots. Top of the far circle. An easy glove save made by Glom. Not even sure if that one would have been on net, but Glom gloving and holding on for the faceoff nonetheless.
Yeah, turnover by the Vipers in their own zone, and now the Knights with an offensive draw.
It'll be Hill on the draw. And you need a center out there. Gurgle will take the faceoff against Hill. Gurgle wins the draw for the Vipers. Now back to Sheevy, to Fina. Cross-ice pass intercepted by Hill. Hill loses the handle to Sheevy, who throws it out to the neutral zone. Dumped back in by Sarandos. And now Fina once again. Fina skating in. Fina below the goal line, looking to do the wraparound, and Palazzolo saw that one coming from behind and just kind of slowly drifted over there to seal up that left post.
And then just absorbs it, no rebound.
Which is key because you have these Vipers players like flying around, buzzing around in the zone, and he's been very good not giving up any rebound. Rebound control has been very strong. 6:52 to go here in period 3. 4-1 lead for the Vipers in this Squirt Minor Championship game. Vipers win the draw, back to Grant. That one deflects into the near corner by Palazzolo. And then behind the net, Nathan Johnson will try and dig it out. Gets it back to Kimbrachuk behind the net. Kimbrachuk circles, looking for a centering opportunity to get it to Johnson. Hops over his stick, and Robinson throws it out to center. Inside the zone, this could be a chance for the Knights. As a centering attempt there from Casper, unable to connect. Now the Vipers go the other way. And as Rutz throws it on net, Palazzolo pushes it to the far corner. Kimbrachuk eludes two defenders, tries to throw it on net. It gets there, but not before it's slowed down by Henry Rohde. on to Palazzolo in a faceoff.
And that chance on the other side, Ezra Casper, as you said, had that chance coming in. Looked like it could have been an opportunity. Alec Grant able to tie up the stick, though, and it was Grant's stick that went flying up into the air.
Yeah, it was like helicopter. Faceoff to the right of Palazzolo. Gurgle won the draw, but lost footing. But McGowan picks up the loose puck along that near wall, is circling, splits a couple defenders, tries to get the puck back, but the Knights take control. 5:46 remaining. Inside the zone. Begley has to go wide and dumps it down low, but nothing but white jerseys there. Now play along the near wall. Pinching in his Hill to try and keep it there. Unable to. Here's Gurgle. Has a player in Celavrides. Lost the handle, taken away. Hill tried to swipe it away, but Fina keeps it in. Fina trying to get it towards the net, unable to. Celavrides battling there. Now dug out, stuff shot. Denied by Palazzolo. Kemlagi pushes it outside the zone and heads for a change. Under 5 minutes to play, 4:55. Hill with the shot, that one goes off of Fina. Quickly trying to capture that behind the net. Flipped on net and a save made by Mason Glom.
After that one deflected off of Fina, it was Augie Jones who came flying in there to keep that try going.
It's desperation time now for the Knights. Down 3.
Yeah, still 4:46, but we'll see how long before they decide to pull the goalie.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But, you're kind of forced into it. Oh, no, another Knights player collision. Oh, and then Johnson with a nice stick handle shoots. That one went off the body and maybe the mask of Palazzolo. Sticking forward there is Adams trying to move it up ice. Intercepted by Grant. Grant carries it over the blue line. Fires from the far circle. That hit the top of the net and then deflected up into the netting behind the net. That one was close to going underneath the crossbar there.
Yeah, it just went maybe an inch or so above the crossbar instead.
Well, that's one thing for sure is the Vipers have gotten a lot of clean looks, as evidenced by their 25-10 shots on goal advantage. There's another shot. Palazzolo absorbs that.
Yeah, that fact alone makes it difficult on a coaching standpoint as to when to pull the goalie because the Vipers have been tilted the other way quite a bit and can counter at any moment.
Yeah, their transition game is very strong, but again, you're kind of forced into it. You don't really have much options. Gurgle trying to center it over to McGowan. Puck never gets there. Shot thrown on net, however, by Severides. Now players falling all over. McGowan gets the puck back, loses the handle, has to go to the far corner. Stick handling, McGowan. Gurgle getting some space. McGowan fires, and no rebound given by Giuseppe Palazzolo. We've reached the point of the game where the kids are climbing the railings.
Getting ready to celebrate.
Yeah. Face off to the right of Giuseppe Palazzolo. Vipers win the draw. Grant now between the circles. Shot, glove save made off the shot from Rutz. Dug out by the Vipers. Backhand attempt that's blockered aside by Palazzolo. Vipers doing a good job of keeping zone time here and keeping the Knights inside their own defensive zone. Chip toward the net. Does not get to Palazzolo. Now there's a scramble, and it's stuffed in. It's a good goal. And let's see.
I think that's Grant Elling who ended up stuffing it home.
So Elling gets the goal. That's our first goal of the third period. That gives the Vipers a commanding 5-1 lead with 3:13 to go, and that might pretty much take out the equation of pulling the goalie for the extra attacker. It's a great day for the Vipers, just wasn't the Knights' day here, as the Vipers, again, we talked about it early on, their team speed and just forcing the issue with the Knights just set them behind from the get-go, and they were never really able to recover. They pulled within one at 2-1, but that's as close as they got. Now they trail 5-1 with 2:45 to go here in the third period of this Squirt Minor Championship game. Pulled off by McGowan, shoots. Palazzolo makes the save, rebound was loose. Gurgle was coming in to trying to tuck it past Palazzolo, but he's able to cover up for the faceoff.
Yeah, just lunging out beyond the crease to cover that one up after the previous goal was a result of a loose puck that was just loose in the crease for quite a while before it was finally stuffed home.
Yeah, there was just a maze of players in there, and that's hard for a goalie. It's trying to, you're looking at the skates, where's the puck? And it just changed directions and gets past them. Vipers 2:25 away from winning the Squirt Minor Championship, barring a miracle comeback here from the Knights. Here's Grant, loses the handle and throws it off the far wall, kept in by Kimlagi. Elling intercepts that attempt to get it on net to Glom. And now up goes Rutz. Rutz fires. Oh, that actually was a pass attempt to get it over to Nathan Johnson. I think he was in a little too tight at that time. Now here's Cernko, cross-ice pass, nice defensive job. That was by Grant intercepting that pass, or at least preventing the pass to go through. Now we're down to a minute 40, cleared out to center, into the Knights zone. Stanberry was trying to pass it to Adams, but then Adams veered back to the goal and then just had to throw it forward. Fina picks up the loose puck, shoveled ahead. Sarandos throws it out to center. Fina intercepts and brings it back inside the Knight zone. Fina. Shepard Fina. And then the pass over to Gurgle. Might have gone wide anyways, but Palazzolo absorbs it with a minute 5 to go here in this championship game. The Vipers closing in on the championship. Face off to the left of Giuseppe Palazzolo. Won by Gurgle and the Vipers. Sheevy throws it towards the net. Knights will get it out. Could be a break here. Robinson skating in, tries to backhand it on net. Oh, and then all three players collide into Mason Glom. Everything but the puck went into the net. Let's make sure everyone's okay. We have a player down with Robinson. He hit the post hard. And now one of the Knights coaches are going to have to come out to take a look at Robinson.
As Robinson was the one who went in hard with the puck to try to create that chance, and then was just ridden into the goal and into the goalie by Fina, and just one of those where neither player could really stop. You're going full speed trying to get to the puck.
Robinson's back on his skates right now, clutching that left shoulder arm. Hopefully he's okay, but yeah, that does, like you said, there was a lot of momentum on that one, and the defender went into the net, Robinson went into the net, and Glom went into the net. The only thing that didn't was the puck, and it went wide right. Whistle sounds, 49.9 seconds remaining. 5-1 lead for the Vipers. About 50 seconds away from their Squirt Minor Championship being awarded. Sarandos tries to backhand it down low. That's picked off by Sheevy. And now Begley fires. That goes wide behind the net. Stanberry pinches in to keep it, throws it towards the net. That one deflects. They're gonna. They got a penalty, a roughing call. Roughing call on the Vipers here in the final seconds. It's Fina. Shep Fina going to the box. With 30 seconds remaining. Oh, the parade of penalties is going to go down to the wire here.
Yeah, just why not keep with the theme of the game.
Hill looking to win the draw. Taken by the Vipers, however, and Johnson, Nathan Johnson. Stick handles around Stanberry. Johnson fires. Does he get it through the wickets? No. Palazzolo was able to squeeze that, close them up, and cover up for the faceoff. 18.4 seconds remaining here in period 3. Kimbrichuk on the draw. Near wall. Out to the neutral zone. It's Hill. Hill has got a player. Begley skating in, shooting, and unable to get it through. The wraparound attempts denied. The wraparound the other way, shoveled through the crease. Nothing happened, and that's it. The Vipers have won the Squirt Minor Championship by the score of 5-1. Michael Kimbrichuk with a pair of goals. And then solo tallies by Grant Elling, Nathan Johnson, Xander McGowan. A good job in net by Mason Glom. He didn't face as much traffic, obviously, as Giuseppe Palazzolo, but when he had to be called upon, did the work. And the Vipers win this Squirt Minor Championship 5-1.
Yeah, and in the end, the Vipers just using their speed. It was a little too much for the Knights. Jumped out to the early lead and never looked back.
It's a very anticlimactic celebration. I got to tell you, it's like, I guess because you had the game won, it wasn't an overtime win or anything like that. You had the game won for the longest stretch and just kind of waiting for time to expire. And, it's a little subdued from our Squirt Prospect Division Championship games.
Yeah, one of those where the celebration had already begun on the bench prior to it, so it doesn't leak out quite as much.
Good season, though, for the Knights. They finished second in the division. We're trying to reset the stream here. Unfortunately, we're having some technical difficulties towards the end of the broadcast here. We're trying to get that reconnected for you here. Getting your final score, the Vipers 5 and the Knights 1. 3 championship games done here, Brandon. The Squirt Prospects and the Squirt Minor here in Glenview are over. And your Squirt Minor champions are the Vipers.
Yeah, and as we were starting to say, the Vipers just out to that early lead using their speed, and congratulations to them being able to pull it out and just do what they had done all season long, really.
So the champions are the Vipers. And they'll celebrate, or at least get home for Super Bowl action. All right, well, that'll do it. 14 games done here in Glenview this weekend, culminating with the 3 championships here in Squirt play this Sunday. Thanks for tuning in to Central States Hockey all season long. We might have a few games going on at West Dundee and Darien, but we're done here in Glenview. Thanks for tuning in. For Ernie Krause and Brandon Janeska, this is Eric Lillywhite saying so long. We'll see you next time on Central States Hockey on Stream Sports Midwest.